right, everyone. We are here with Kelsey today. Kelsey, thank you so much for joining. And Kelsey enrolled and went through the Be the One Accelerator. So we'll be asking about her experience, all that good stuff. And just jumping right in, what challenges or frustrations were you experiencing with dating, just in general, before joining the Accelerator?
Um, I guess just like the ghosting or just not like having any tangible interactions, like being new in town, like just having like only really the dating apps to rely on and just kind of like having one-off conversations that would just stop after like, hey, what's up? So it was frustrating to like kind of, maintain those conversations at times. Um, I would say that was probably the most frustrating um thing that I had to deal with.
Gotcha. And did you have any fears or hesitations about joining the Accelerator? I know we chatted a little bit about this offline, but would love to hear about it.
Yeah, I mean, I really wanted to work with Michelle. I mean, I know it's something in my life that I really want to be better at. I just didn't know like how to. Um and I wasn't as hesitant to join as I was just that I thought like I knew everything. Like, oh, like what can I possibly learn or gain or just subconsciously like, oh, I know it all. But I feel like after even just the first video, I'm like, wow, like okay, like there's definitely more to this aspect or this like realm of my life that I definitely like didn't think of as deeply. So yeah, I mean, I had some hesitations, I guess more or less just because like I was scared and I'd make like excuses like, oh, I don't know if I'm ready, or like, you can have a laundry list all day of why or an excuse, but I think once I pulled the trigger and did it, I was like so happy because I'm like, wait, I actually learned something that like I can, not use, like you mentioned, not use just for dating, but like any aspect of your life, which again has helped tremendously.
Hmm. I love to hear that. That's amazing. What specific, getting into more of the specifics, what specific breakthroughs or improvements do you experience throughout the experience or throughout the accelerator? And now that we're wrapped up as well, where are you at? What breakthroughs or improvements?
Um, I feel like I'm definitely more open minded to like the possibilities of people. Um, there was a video that you mentioned, like if you have like a filter on your dating app for like a certain height, you could be missing out on like all those people that like could be like an inch shorter, or I don't know, like an age where like you filter that and like you could be missing out on someone like the year younger or older. So I think I'm just like a lot more open minded to like my person because we have this like vision in our head of like who it has to be. And that can like really sabotage who you like might meet. So I think I'm like way more open minded to like who that person could be. Um, and not so closed off. I think that's like been like my biggest like breakthrough is like really not like having like a niche person in mind, but like opening all those facets and just like being more open minded.
Hmm. I love that. I love that. Yeah, it's almost sometimes like the person we have in mind or like someone who would look good on paper when we meet them, they're actually not the energy or like, the vibe of what we want or what feels good. So that's great to hear. Is there
Yeah.
any specific like throughout the modules, is there any topics or themes that like resonated more than others? Or I know you said you were thinking about, okay, do I know all the tools? Like, were there some that really resonated or you found like valuable or interesting that like maybe you had done before, maybe you just saw it in a different way or it was entirely new?
Um, I think like one of the things, I'm not really sure if that answers it, but just like keeping us safe, like how we do things to like keep us safe. Like I guess I knew that, but I never really like understood that that's a lot of why I would like self-sabotage or like not go on dates or not talk to people or not be as like open-minded, was because like, oh, I don't want to get hurt again, or oh, I don't want rejection. I think that theme and topic really resonated. I think there were two separate modules in that, but combined, I'm like, oh, that's why I do that. And understanding like the why behind like why we act the way we do can really again like open like the door for like more possibilities, because if we're like aware of it, we can like do something about it and stop it and then, change that obviously. So I don't know. I think like the rejection one and then like the pathways to your mind and again like keeping us safe. I'm like, oh, that's probably why I like don't talk to people, or that's why I'm very standoffish, or that's why I haven't put as much energy because I want to like keep myself safe.
That's huge. And I know we chatted a little bit about this before I pressed record, but can you also share a bit about the future self visualization, also like the 3 month letter as well, and how that impacted that knowing or that feeling that you're experiencing?
I felt so connected to even just like my 3 month self, my year self. Like that was really powerful because like your future self is exactly who you are. It's just you're not being that in the moment. But if you write it down and you connect with that person, that's who you've been the whole time. So I found that to be really powerful because when you write it down, you're going to make it happen, and you'll find a way to like connect with your future self no matter what, when you know exactly who you want to be in that moment, if that makes sense. But yeah, I really found those modules powerful, and that those prompts are really great because yeah, I really felt connected to her, to me, in the future self. So
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, that's one of my favorite exercises to do as well. It's so reassuring, and just like you were saying, it's like it's already you. It's just, at a different timeline.
yeah.
Can you share a bit more about, so in addition to the video modules week by week, you also receive one-on-one support from me via an app called Voxer, which, if people listening are unfamiliar, it's basically like having me sitting right next to you, where it's kind of like a walkie-talkie app. You can send a voice memo anytime, you can send a text message for specific questions, really any support and accountability or questions you have throughout. Can you share a little bit about that experience and, the impact or value of that in addition to the modules?
Yeah, no, that was great. It's a really easy app to use as well. So it's not like it's, you have to spend a lot of time figuring it out. I mean, I only really had one real question about the energies, and you got back to me like right away and found that quiz for me. But yeah, anything that would like happen in the moment, like I could just reach out to you instantly or message you, and you would either like it or respond. So that was really nice and easy. And you always did it within like a 24-hour period, which is also really great. And then your weekly check-ins were also nice because it wasn't just like we were on autopilot and just doing these videos and you were just like, all right, have fun. So that was always nice to like have that extra, like, again, cushion. Like, it was good to like have that as like an extra, again, like tool during the accelerator.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like it's good to have the accountability, but also like if you did have a question, you knew that you could come and, ask
Yeah.
um the specific questions, or like receive. It varies like so much, right? And like when you're going through all the different modules, but that's good to hear that you appreciate the check-ins. And I find it valuable like in my own life when I have that from my coach, because then it's just like an added layer of accountability that I'm actually gonna do what I set out to do.
Yeah.
Right. And like have that support.
Doing them, like, have you learned anything? Kind of, yeah, just like a quick little, tap on the shoulder.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, I found too with some people also it's helpful where like when you're talking it out or sending that voice memo, sometimes realizations come from talking it out or like typing it out too. So a lot of
Yeah.
benefits. Yeah. Perfect. And then I just have a couple more questions. So, what was your experience working with me specifically? Like my personality style, right? Going through the modules or via Voxer, like what did you like? What did you enjoy? What's it kind of like working with me?
I really enjoyed the like PowerPoint presentations. I'm a visual learner, so having those pictures, like with the pathways, you had like the forest and then like the iceberg with like our subconscious mind and our conscious mind, like having those things, and your example usage was really spot on. And that I'm personally, again, I'm a visual learner, so that really helped. And then again, how you just had like the PowerPoints and you were like walking, through it step by step. Um, so I really liked it. And everything made sense and everything had like a flow. So it wasn't like you would like go off on a tangent and then like come back. It was all like it all intertwined and all was like connected. So again, I really enjoyed the PowerPoints and like all the visuals um,
Mm,
a lot. When again you were like saying something and then you would give an example that would like make sense with it.
mm.
So
Yeah, so kind of like grounding the topics into like practical examples was helpful.
yeah.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. And then what would you say to someone who's on the fence about joining the accelerator? What would you say to them?
Again, just like going back to like thinking, things like, oh, I already know, like, I already know I self-sabotage, or like, I already know I don't put in effort, like, I already know, like, the guys out there suck or whatever. You can definitely learn something no matter how much you already know about a topic. So, I mean, just be open-minded to doing it, and you'll be surprised at how much you'll actually learn and things will resonate. Even if you're not necessarily looking to date right away, it still again can like intertwine in other parts of your life. Um, so yeah, I mean, I did it and I was on the fence about it. So like if anyone's on the fence about it, I would say just do it. Because again, it's something that you will gain something in no matter what,
Mm.
even if you don't at all. So
Yeah, and can you talk a little bit too about the kind of like transferability, if you will, of what you learn in the accelerator? Because yes, it is about dating and relationships, but it obviously has a trickle effect out to all areas of life. Can you share a little bit about that?
um like in your career, I guess, like just like building relationships in that way. And then maybe like reading like their body language and like if they're in the mood to talk, if they're not in the mood to talk. I've kind of like used that one module to like pick up on like when my boss is in the mood to talk. And then obviously like friendships and like, you know, your relationships with your families. And then kind of again, you know, stemming upon that. And being like the best version of yourself. When you manifest that and you have that internally, you'll express that outwardly, and people in your life will like notice that, and like all good things will come. I don't know if that really answered the question, but I
Yeah,
feel like
for sure.
my friendships and with my boss. So,
Hmm. Yeah, it's helped in those areas too. That's great. Um, Perfect. And so, would you recommend the accelerator? And if yes, who do you feel like would really receive value from it or enjoy it, and really get a transformation?
I think anyone who wants to like just gain a better understanding of like your energy and how your brain works. Again, I think that's powerful in itself, even without putting in like the dating and all that into it. Um, just for anyone that like wants to grow and be like the best version of themselves, I would definitely recommend it and encourage people to do that because again, even if you think you know everything and know all these things, it's nice to like get a better understanding of like the why. And again, it stems into and bleeds into other parts of your life. Can't talk, sorry. So yeah, I would say like anyone that just like wants to work on themselves and be like the best version of themselves should definitely like do it.
Hmm. I love it. I love it. And last question, is there anything else that I didn't touch on or that you want to mention about your experience?
Um, I mean, I really enjoyed the videos. I really liked the videos. I really liked the visualizations, the meditations. I found those like very, again, like powerful and resonated a lot. Um, and then the book you recommended, like you had a lot of like podcast recommendations, a lot of book recommendations. So I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I feel like I got a lot more out of it than I even anticipated, which is always good to like have that.